Welcome to the Commander Smiths.
We are the Commander Smiths.
I'm Adam Smith.
And I'm Lowry Smith.
Don't worry.
We're cousins.
And you get this one, Renshai.
A wizard is never late, nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
And then RoboCop and Tad both did Urza's for Life, so you guys get this.
Get the fuck.
Oh, and Renshai. There we go. We got it all over the place here. So
I wish that we could have a button that just sounded like a middle finger. That's my hope.
What would the button sound like? Just
what? Yeah.
Boing.
Like Jack in the Box.
Hey,
I don't know. I don't know what it sounds like when you finger someone.
Oh,
so that's...
whoa! It's you haven't done that before. All right. Anyway, so this is episode.
No idea.
342, right? Yeah, 342. What are we doing on this fingering episode here, Lowry?
You've been flustered on the fingering part. I can tell. You got embarrassed. You're like, what? Who, me? No. Agreed. Never fingered. Nothing. I've never been fingered. So
yeah, I mean, you're not. What is it?
Sometimes it itches. Don't worry about it.
Isn't it 40 when the prostate exam happens? I'm 40, or
I think it's 45.
Okay, good. I got 5 more.
I don't know.
4 more years.
I'm sure I need one.
You didn't do your.
Might go in just looking happy.
Your weekly.
We get this done. Let's do this.
Weekly prostate exam. All right.
Weekly.
Okay, so Lowry, what are we doing on this episode? This Monday, not a Friday.
We have middle round. Is it the Elite 8 of the?
Oh, we still.
Oh no, we're not doing that.
No,
not doing that because
we will
just
go over
Friday.
that. We will go over like what's leading, so people want to, or do you want to be a surprise?
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, but we'll do a little bit of Smith Savant at the end, and then the main segment is going to be Fave 5 style undersized or underused, undersized. You're caught up by the fingering too. Well, no, I just tried to read, and you know how how hard that is. So, underused utility lands. We did this like a year and a half ago, and we double checked, and we're not overlapping.
Yep. So all new cards,
as far as we know.
Those cards are still on the table too. The ones that we talked about before, they're all good cards. But we have 5 new ones each, and we don't know what each other's are except for the thumbnails. We obviously know what those are. So yeah, we're doing that, and then call it a night. So, do we want to like
Jack Elephant Graveyard? No, that's not underused.
What we're saying,
it's $1,000 card.
Yeah, there's a.
I don't know if it's that much, but
what is it at? I'm very curious.
It's quite a bit.
Elephant Grave.
You see that little sword there? You know it's going to be more than it should be.
Well, it's only $276. That's not terrible.
Is it elephants and something else to regenerate, or
it's tap 1? It gives you 1 colorless and regenerate target elephant.
Yeah.
That's not that good. Let's not use that one. Damn it! Gotta take that off my list
deck or something.
Yeah, right.
But that's not worth the 200.
No, it's just because it's the Arabian Nights thing. Okay, so yeah, we got that, and our stumper this week is Deadpool's Dragon. Just a reminder, and we'll say it when we get to the Stump the Smith Savant again, is Ragavan will be up for grabs, and this is courtesy of Tommy Olson once we get to the 3rd round. So this week is...
Are we in the 2nd round now?
We're still in the 1st round because we skipped last week, which was on Friday. So this is round 34, week 2. So we need to get to the 3rd level, I should say. Okay, so that's it for that. Do we just want to get right into the utility lands, kind of get to it, and then we'll kind of...
You want to say that we're going to have a pretty short episode?
I mean, we might. It feels like it. We don't.
I feel like I could stretch this into at least an hour and a half.
I mean, if we're gonna like banter, but did you open your secret lair, by the way? Did you open that?
I did not.
Oh, I was curious what the bonus cards you got. Because if you
Nope.
got Minsk and Boo, dude, it's like a $1,500 card. So, or
That's crazy.
$1,200 card or something like that. So,
Crazy, man. Yeah. Well, I'll hope for that. I'll let you know.
all right.
I'll probably okay. So yeah. I'll probably try and open that tomorrow,
Okay.
Tuesday, and then I'll also try and finish / build Yigra, the green black food deck. I was going to do that
Before you got COVID.
before I got COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I got COVID and I was like, fuck all of
I'm
this.
not doing anything.
All of this. So I'm behind,
That's all right.
but I would enjoy it if anybody wants to join me. So
All
it's
right.
probably Tuesday night. Just gonna try and get in there.
Get in, get out with the
Get
finger
out,
and
get in,
everything.
get out.
Use that
Like,
finger.
what? Fingering? I'll
Use that
figure the deck in and out. Be done.
All
Hopefully
right.
it's enjoyable.
So
So you don't really know.
This is the calm before the storm, because we have the next set that's going to be basically almost out. So then videos are going to be coming with the deck tech and the budget upgrades and all that. And then we're guessing. What was that? Were you trying to pop it?
No, I was fingering my mouth.
Oh, gotcha.
You just did too.
You're
gross.
And then we have we're guessing that we'll have a secret layer, but just because they kind of coincide with sets. So
I mean, there's been a couple of.
yeah, that's a good point. They have already kind of spoiled.
We know
two.
there is.
Yeah.
We just don't know when it's
Yeah.
going to be.
So we'll have that coming. So let's just get right to the utility stuff.
See, I already killed 5 minutes when you said, "Hey, let's just get to this."
There
I'm
you
like,
go.
fuck that.
Okay, so I know I went first last time with stuff, so I think it is your turn. We are doing the best utility lands tournament. So I figured Laurie had a great idea. It's like, let's talk about the ones that didn't make the list. Some utility lands that are probably underplayed here.
Yeah.
So we each have
I
five.
have picked. All of mine are under 10,000 on EDH Rec, and all right. Did you
Mine
do
are
that good?
close. No, there's one
Liar.
that's over, and my face one is right at 10,000. So
Okay.
let's start with the face
I almost
ones.
did pick that one though too. But all right, I'm gonna go with the face one. I'm gonna go Thawing Glaciers, which is a land
There we go.
that ETB's taps. Oh, it came up. ETB's tapped, pay 1, tap it, and then you get to search your library for a basic land card, put into play tapped. This card does not count towards the one. It shows the old wording, huh?
Oh, you want me to go to
and then you
okay.
shuffle, and then at end of turn, return it, Thawing Glaciers, to owner's hand. A couple of cool things that EDH Rec list. It's only in 5,015 decks. This is a reserve list card. It does have a DCI promo of it that's very pretty as well. It is kind of expensive, so I get, and it's cumbersome. Let's call it that. I'm not going to say that it's bad, but it's cumbersome. Now, a couple of cool things here. It's one of those lands that return back to your hand, so it allows you to hit that landfall.
Right.
Kind of consistently and all that stuff. Like you'll get to a point where you don't have to play it if you need something more efficient. And the other cool thing about this is that if you have something that can untap it, you can go and get another land because it's not returning it from the effect. It's like a delayed trigger
I got
at the end of your turn. So if you go pay 1, tap it, go search for a basic land, and then you yours following to untap it, you can do it again. And if you got Satyr Voyager, Voyaging Satyr, I don't know, but untaps a land. So you can go and get multiple lands from it as well. I really like this in landfall style decks that care about land coming into play, like Simone and Dina or Omnath.
Because it also pops it back to your hand, so you're able to play this
Right.
again, and it's getting the landfall from finding one. Yeah.
And so it's likely not a huge hindrance because you're going to be playing cards like Oracle of Moldiah or Dryad of Elysian Grove, like stuff that lets you put more lands from your hand into play anyway. And so it just allows you to keep on grinding. The biggest annoyance is everything's coming into play tapped, but it's only in 5,000 decks. You play this, it's likely going to be the only person. You're going to be the only person playing this card. And then also it's kind of expensive at this point. So
yeah. I dig this one. We've picked this one before in reserve list stuff because this is a good,
that makes
cheaper
sense, yeah.
reserve list one to pick up. So it's cheaper on the reserve list stuff, but more expensive for the land that it is. Yep. I like this one a lot. Yep. All right. Well, I will go with my face card. It is Dust Bowl. And actually, we just got a reprint of this in the breaking news, which was the Outlaws of Thunder Junction stuff. So we have a really cheap copy because it was pretty spendy. I mean, you're looking at 12 plus bucks before that. Oh, actually, a real copy, not the other ones are like 20. So what it is you can tap it for a colorless mana, or you can tap 3, sacrifice a land, destroy target non-basic. So you don't have to sacrifice this. You can pick a different land. You can sacrifice this because it doesn't specify another land. So you can sacrifice one of your lands to get rid of the problem lands. And if you're playing in play groups that have a lot of Gaia's Cradles or non-basics that actually really help, because using your lands to do cool stuff is a really nice way to power up your decks, and this is a good way to get rid of those problem lands. So I think this one's really good, really cheap right now. Like I said, it just got reprinted in the breaking news, so you can get it for 50 cents at this point, and that's a pretty cool looking one. This is the Dust Bowl. There you go, right there. So I like that. It kind of reminds me of the Fallout series is what this, well, I guess that makes sense because it's Western stuff or whatever.
I'll go with that.
But yeah, so I think this one's really good. It is in right at 10,000 EDH rec decks. So
right at 10,000.
Yep.
One of my thoughts on it is, like, it's obviously not as good as Wasteland or Strip Mine.
Yeah.
But I do think this is like a very good, like, fair version. I like this a lot more, like a lot better than Field of Ruin, the one that goes and gets a land for everybody at the table. Yeah. Like, I'd much rather just have it there to get rid of a problem land or two. And and just have it, and nobody should be mad about it. You tap 4 mana and sack a land to destroy target non-basic land.
You're hurting yourself, and you're tapping 4 to do it. Yeah. Well, and
so nobody should be upset about it, and yet it could be a nice silver bullet. And
the thing is there really isn't a downfall in this one. Like, if your play group has a lot of people that are playing some troublesome lands, this is great to have in there. But then if you get into it, like you're going to play some other play group, well, it's still a land. You can still tap it for a colorless, So it's actually, at the very least, it's giving you a colorless mana. So I really like this. I should start playing it more. I didn't because it was expensive and I had made a proxy of it. But now that there are these cheap copies, I might go and pick up a bunch of these just to throw in some decks. It actually should probably go in my, not my mirror. What is the deck? My Eldrazi one, the Scion deck. I just played that this last weekend at number 2's house. He had a couple people over. And the thing I ran into is I didn't have enough of my lands to produce colorless to cast some of those other spells. So I need to get a couple more things in there.
Interessante. Yeah. And one of the thoughts that I kind of have about... Never mind. Never mind.
Did your mind go back to the finger? Okay, so... Poop. All right, so Lowry, what is your next card on the list there?
All right, I'm gonna have to spell this one out for you.
All right, I'm ready.
I can't say it. I'm just gonna.
Can't even read.
Saprazan Scurry. S-A-P. R-A-Z-Z-A-N.
Okay, I think I just need the ZZ. Oh wait.
Yeah, you thought so.
Oh, there's more than one. Okay.
That one.
All right.
Yeah. So there is a cycle here. This is a popper card, I believe. The whole cycle. But basically, it's a land that comes into play tapped. It gets 2 depletion counters on it. You tap it, remove a depletion counter from Saprazan Scurry. Add 2 blue mana to your mana pool. If there are no depletion counters on Saprazan Scurry, sacrifice it. And so basically, you get 2 turns where you get 2 mana from it. The nice thing though is that I think proliferation decks should consider these a lot more. And so you're not worried about losing your land. It's essentially ramping you.
Mm-hmm.
And so every time you proliferate, you put another depletion counter on it, and then you're always getting those 2 out of there. I like this again as something that's very different. It's it doesn't super accelerate you. I think it's very fair. And then if you can use it multiple times beyond what it's supposed to be, I think it becomes very good for you.
Yeah, I can see that. Renshite said reminds him of Gemstone Mine. Yep, agree with that too. Yep.
And I think if you like Gemstone Mine, I think that's a great comparison. And that is more just for color fixing, and this is more for like, I wouldn't want this in it doesn't work in an Atraxa deck. Let's say that. That's probably more of what you would want vivid lands for, or Gemstone Mines. This is probably like 2 to 3 color deck. It just depends on where your proliferation is coming from. So like, I did consider this in my my pirate planeswalker deck that proliferates a bunch.
And that was a 3 color, wasn't it?
Yeah. And that did end up being a little bit of the problem, but it was really nice when it was working. Like it really puts you into the mid game, which is great for planeswalkers. The problem ended up being like the color fixing part of it. So I think I ended up taking them out, or I think I did something. I might have put the bounce lands in instead, just like too many lands that were coming into play tapped. So just wanting to balance that as well.
Gotcha.
So that's kind of where you're at. I think they're really fun. And they are this one is only in 9,635 decks.
Oh, so it's close to that 10,000. That's close.
It's getting there. But yeah, I think it's more of a popper staple type card where they use it. So
awesome. Sweet. Well, I didn't even know about this card because this is they only did Mercadian Mass, right? Yeah, and then otherwise it was the World Championship. Yep. All right. So yeah, I don't even have this card, Lowry. All right.
Hey, if you go check your bulk, you might have it. It's a $2 card, boy.
Is it?
Yeah.
All right, I got mine coming up. Hang on, I'm just spelling it out. All right, Undiscovered Paradise.
All right. We did talk about this one on the reserve list. Right,
exactly.
That might have been 2 years ago at this point, but
the reserve list. I know a couple of these, but this is only in 1,980 decks. This is going to be a quick talking point because it's very similar to the first one you talked about.
Oh, Thawing Glaciers.
Yeah. So this one is you tap it, you add 1 mana of any color during your next untap step. As you untap your permanents, return this to its owner's hand. So it goes in landfall decks. It gives you any color. It's gonna go. So the returning to your hand only comes into play is if you tap it. Yeah, because it's all part of the triggered ability there. So you could play this, and if you're like, oh, I can tap everything else, I don't need to use that mana, you can leave it open and whatever and not have to return it, and then use this as an emergency. But if you're playing a landfall deck, this is a fantastic way of every turn getting your landfall no matter what. And there's a lot of landfall stuff out there. It's your favorite mechanic. And yeah, I just think there's not much more I want to say with it, but like it is reserve list.
I'll add this along with onto Thawing Glaciers. The big problem with this and Glaciers is early game.
Yes.
So if you end up playing it early game and you kind of get a little land stuck, it does get frustrating.
Yeah.
And that's always been my biggest issue with both of those, is that they just, if you get stuck, they're really bad.
Right. Because if you only have the two,
if you get up to 3 lands and then like miss a land drop, you're like, fuck,
son of a bitch. Yeah, right.
And then because then you're feeling like you have to use that mana. It comes back to your hand, and then you draw another land, and you're like, I'm just behind. Yeah. I'm just fucking behind.
Right. Yeah.
And so that becomes the problem there.
Specifically, I would say, don't just throw this in any deck. This needs to be in your landfall decks, like things that land matters decks. Not land matters, just landfall in particular. Yep. So with both those cards, I mean, Thawing Glaciers I think could go in more than just landfall decks, but this one in particular should just be in a landfall deck. So
yeah,
1980, not bad. It is reserve list, like Larry said. It's only $12 at this point. It has gotten up to I think 40. I think if I remember right when we did our reserve list talk before.
30 or 40,
up and down. So Look out for this one. It's on the bottom right now, so it could go up when people target reserve lists like they do every couple of years. All right, Larry, what is your next one?
My third pick is going to end up being Riftstone Portal. Riftstone, one word.
There we go.
So comes into play. It can produce a colorless, and then if it's in your graveyard, lands you control can tap for green or white. And this is in 5,954 decks. But essentially what it is if you can get it into your graveyard, like sacrifice it to a dust bowl, or you can mill it or discard it from your hand. All of this, then it just fixes what you got going on the battlefield, and it allows all those lands to tap for a green or a white, and it's pretty cool when it works and it's happening. So, or if you're, I had it into Cassia, and it was always nice to just be able to surveil the land away. But yeah, it's a pretty cool land. I really have enjoyed it. I don't know if it goes. It might just be able to go into a green-white deck, but I don't know if it really matters either. Probably not. Well, I think you want some way
I
of
was thinking you got to
consistently getting it into your graveyard.
Yeah, I mean, again, the biggest downfall, or the worst case scenario, it taps for a colorless. So it's still like, but yeah, if you don't have a way of putting it in your graveyard and you're depending on other people doing it, I wouldn't
count on that. Yeah,
you want somehow to get this in your graveyard. But yeah, like you said, when it's in there, that's freaking nice being able to tap all your mana is either green or white.
And I think the big thing is it's good in higher or like more colored decks. So like 3, 4, 5. And so because then it allows, your blue mana to be able to tap for 3 colors instead of like your forest can tap for a green or a white. Like, I don't know how much that really matters because you probably should be pretty good on your color. But it's when you get into the more colors, if you can get that into your yard, it really helps the fixing part.
It makes your command tower tap for any color and for green and white.
Yes. Yes. There we go.
All right. I dig another one, Larry. I've not seen this one. So you're showing. I
told you I had a couple gems coming.
You're showing me curated MTG right now. So all right. This is one I bought and I have not used, but I want to use it. But it's Safe Haven. So this one won't tap for mana. This is specifically utility land. But you can tap 2, exile target creature you control, and then at the beginning of your upkeep, you may sacrifice Safe Haven. If you do, return each card exiled with Safe Haven to the battlefield under its owner's control. So it doesn't go back to your hand; it goes right back to the battlefield. It isn't like an ability that you're not, you can use at any time. It's at your upkeep, but you don't have to pay any mana to do it, which is kind of nice. This is only in 1,624 EDH rec decks.
Ooh, that might be the lowest number, huh?
No, I have one more lower. That'll be my next one. There is another card that is similar to it. I kind of wanted to point this out, but it's Endless Sands, which is a desert. So Endless Sands does a very similar thing, except it taps for mana. So I like this one obviously better. The downfall of Endless Sands is it's a tap 4 ability. And then you can do it at any point, which is kind of nice because you sacrifice it, return each creature exiled with it, whatever. So that's kind of nice because then you can do this ability at any point. This is in what is it? Endless Sands was in 16,000 EDH rec deck, so it gets a little bit higher on the numbers. But I think they're both. Yeah. I still think that's kind of an underplayed card for 16,000, and this card has been out since Hour of Devastation, so it's been out for a while. I think they're both nice protection cards in a way. Like somebody's board wiping, you're like, well, at least I'm gonna save one of my creatures, and then at some point later in the game, boom, they come back. So I think they're both good options. Safe Haven's much cheaper, obviously. It's only it's under 50. Well, they're both the same price, about 50 cents for each of those. But yeah, so this one of those.
And so I have played this in a deck a long time ago, back during Cons block. I don't know if you even remember it. I had that Yasova deck that I stole other people's creatures with a green, red, blue deck.
Vaguely remember. Vaguely.
Yeah, it wasn't very good. But the problem is that I really did like the idea of Safe Haven. It was before Endless Sands had come out. But the thought was stealing creatures and then exiling it with Safe Haven so they don't get their creature back. The problem is it's just a ton of mana.
Right,
Like,
because it's 3. You're tapping the 2 and it's
you're doing 3, and then you got to tap mana to steal something, and so you're going, that's what I'm doing this turn, not using any of my cards in hand.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Hoping they have something that's decent enough to do this too. But that was the fun one. So if you are stealing things, I think this is a fun one to have with Endless
And you
Sands
have,
as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say you have 2 options with that, which is nice. So if your deck is themed around that, that's kind of nice. But if you're just strictly looking for something to fit in your deck for kind of like a pseudo protection in a way, I like Endless Sands better, obviously, because it taps for mana.
Yeah.
But I think they're both playable cards. I think it has to fit in the style of deck, like you were saying, like the deck that you built. So, all right, what is your next card? So I got 2 more.
2 more. Okay, so number 4. I'm sure you know this one, but Rix Maddie, RIX, and then dash MAADI.
Oh, right there.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it taps for colorless, and then you can pay 1, a black, a red, tap it. Each player, including yourself, discards a card. Activate only as a sorcery.
Oh yeah, this is my Croxa deck. Yeah, because making people discard. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense there. This is only an 8,329 card. Like, so if you're in a deck that you know that you can draw plenty of cards and you have no problem with, I think this is a great card that's gonna mess with your opponents. Like, especially when they're holding 2-3 cards in their hand, and like you're like, oh, I know one of them is Cyclonic Rift. Let's try and work it away and force them to do it. Or like, I think it's a great card near the end of the game, and it, tapping for the colorless is fine. But just like when people are kind of running out of resources and they're trying to be tricky, and you're just like, everybody discard a card.
Yeah,
I guarantee you get some moans and groans. And for being in less than 10,000 decks, I think that's more enjoyable to hear that.
The moans and groans.
That's what I go for in my games anyway. So I think that's one that people should play a bit more. Especially, I think this is perfect in those 2 color decks.
Yeah, I dig it. All right, here comes the least amount of decks here that we will have, and I know we've mentioned this one before, but Halls of Mist. So this is in 924 EDH rec decks. It's another land that does not tap for mana, so strictly utility. It's cumulative upkeep, 1 colorless, and then no creature can attack if it attacked during its controller's last turn. So you can play this after, it will, I'm guessing this is right, it's retroactively picking up. Like if you played this and the players all attack their last turn, it doesn't need to be on the battlefield for that to pick it up, right? Creatures.
No. So on the errata there, it says creatures that attack during their controller's last turn can attack. So that would be like a trigger. It'd be a delayed trigger. So I believe the card has to be into play
before that takes effect. Okay.
And then it would.
But even still,
like needs to see the card attacking to allow it to trigger.
Yeah. So this at least will hinder people from continuously attacking. The cumulative upkeep, it's 1. It shouldn't be a big deal if it's late game. That'll help you out a bit, especially if you're not a very attack heavy deck. And this is this reserve list? It is reserve list. Yep. Yeah. Remember we were like, hey, let's do a reserve list episode. Well,
yeah, that was on your
mind. Mine turned into it. I'm not kidding. My last one is also a reserve list card. But yeah, so
all right.
I haven't played Halls of Mist. I haven't put it in a deck. I like the idea of it, but the part I always have trouble with, and it's the same thing with Maze of Ith and the last card I talked about,
Yeah.
is not being able to tap that land, as it being part of your land. I like when there's that being able to use the ability. I don't know. Have you ever played with this card at all? Like, I want to know how it actually works because I've not seen this played.
Again, I think I tried to get this into Xavier Sol. There we go. The pirate planeswalker one. So like, it was one that I didn't have a lot of creatures, and so I was just working on slowing everybody down and allowing me to kind of build up. I mean, these kind of cards, you can only have like one of them in your deck if you're going to play it. And I had another one that needed to work as well, City of Shadows, I want to say. And so, but that one gets you mana. But where I would probably play it is where I'm trying to control combat. So like Primicon, where you're like, you can only attack to the right. Then that you're only going to get hit once from the other side.
Once every other turn.
Yeah, type
like
thing.
That. Yeah. I was also thinking, like, if I still have my Brewvac deck, I was like, this actually could be a good one in Brewvac, because that one's just all about milling and not attacking at all. So I think I think you have a good point that it should more so go into decks that you're not specifically trying to attack. And I do have a lot of decks that I have creatures out, but it's not necessarily built on the attacking. It's about what I'm doing. And maybe I think about putting this in those decks. But the cumulative upkeep, it's not bad, but that gets you later in the game,
Well, and that's kind of why I wanted it with Xavier Sol, because Xavier Sol takes those counters off.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
And so like I just had too many specialized lands in the deck, and I ended up taking this out because it wasn't something that I could really proliferate. But it worked really well in there.
And I just played it this weekend. This actually might be good in Tom Bombadil, because I'm not focused on necessarily attacking. Well, Tom, I do try to kill people with Tom Bombadil. But there is a lot of counter manipulation with that one, because I'm removing counters from from all my sagas. And then I have a lot of that. So this would be an easy way for it to just always cost one. And then people can't really, this might be something I think about there. There's something there. All right, Lowry, what is your last card or your
last one I want to talk about is a new one.
Ooh.
But I think it's already kind of underplayed a bit. Tarnation Vista.
Tarnation?
Tarnation. Tarna.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought you said Parnation. I was like, what is that?
Yeah. So this is from the big score, but when it comes into play, ETB's tap, and then you choose a color. It taps, add 1 mana of the chosen color, and pay 1.
I do
tap
like this
it.
one.
For each color among mono-colored permanents you control, add 1 mana of that color. So the big thing is it's cheap right now. It's $2. I think it started around 7 or 8. But I mean, the big hindrance is going to end up being like ET being tapped, but I think this goes great in your 1 and 2 color decks. Anything, as long as it gets you more than 2 mana, because you're paying 1 and tapping the land. So it has to be, you want at least 2, but if you don't have 2, you're just tapping it for a regular color that you said, right? Yeah. So it can be fixing when it comes into play. I see it as a land that's going to get you multiple mana off of that activation. Like, it's a bad Shrine to Nyx, but it's a lot cheaper, like $2 versus $25. And this being only in 3,838 decks, this feels like something that should be probably in the at least 20 to 30,000.
So at most it can get you is Wooburg, right? That's what am I reading that right? So it says for each color among mono-colored permanents you control, add 1 mana of that color. So
maybe I was reading it wrong. Yeah.
But it was confusing, because I'm like, is it saying that you need, like, if you were playing an all green deck, that you get 1 for each? But no, I think it's saying for each color, so you can get green, red, black, blue, white.
Yeah.
Which is still good for 2.
That's a lot more work, though. Shit.
I still think it's an underplayed card. I think this can be worked. But, like, in a Wooburg deck, how many multicolored things are you playing? Probably a lot, so that's a little bit harder.
Well, the one thing that I found is generally the more colors I add, the less multicolor I'm using, because you're kind of using more like easier to cast
Right. What I end up doing
things.
with Wooburg is I end up doing a lot of green because they have the best color fixing, you know. But no, I still dig this one. Like you're.
I don't like it anymore, but we'll go with it. It's I guess it's not what I was thinking.
It's worded weird. That's I had to sit there.
Yeah. So it's for each color, for each different color.
Right.
That's probably how I would have wrote
For
it.
each
For
color
each different color among monocolored permanents you control. That makes a lot more sense in my head.
Yeah.
Sorry, Wizards, you did it wrong. Hire me. Hire me to read your cards, and then you'll know how bad we need help out here.
All right. My last one though is I'm over the 10,000. So if you have another one, you can go off of that. I do have some honorable mentions that we can go over, but
save them for
this
next
one's
time.
expensive, and it's another fucking reserve list card, but it's Lake of the Dead. Lake of the Dead's in 13,000 EDH rec deck, so it's just a little over 10,000. If you don't have a copy of this, you should get it. It's a good card. But when it comes into play, sacrifice a swamp or bury it. It taps for a swamp, so it kind of sucks you're 1-for-1 in it. But especially if you're looking at the sack land stuff, so you're kind of in those Gitrog monster type decks, you can sacrifice a swamp, and it adds 4. You tap it, sacrifice a swamp, add 4 black mana to your mana pool. This is just great. I wouldn't do it in really more than 2 or 3 color decks. I think when you get higher than that, this shouldn't be in there. But in a Gitrog monster where lands matter, going to the graveyard kind of deck, this is fantastic for that. Giving you that kind of pseudo ramp there in a way, or burst of mana for a little bit, and it gets you that sacrifice. Really dig this. Like I mentioned, 13,810. It is reserve list. This is kind of the set point of price right now. It's in the 70s. It does go up to 100. It's not going to come back down. This is actually a pretty good, useful card, because there's some good synergies with that. There is one I want to mention. Or did you have another one you want to talk about?
Yeah, can I do like a little bit of a makeup one?
Yeah.
Let's go with Mistvale Plains.
All right.
MISTV.
It just started going to stuff. Mist. Is it VEI? Mist?
VEIL. Yep.
Why is it not coming up? There we go. There we
go. All right. It is a Plains, so fetchable. ETB's tapped. Pay a white and tap it. Put target card from your yard on the bottom of your library. Activate the ability only if you control 2 or more white permanents. I think it's pretty cool to shuffle things back into your library. It goes great with the red-white hammer that can go and search for instance in your deck.
That's not Hammer of Nazan. No, that's
no.
It's the one that like you can go get the Teferi's protection. God, what am I brain farting on that one? What is it? Oh, Sunforge.
Yeah.
Sunforge.
Sunforge. Yeah. So this can cycle those instants back into your deck and then go and search it again. But also just like, if you know, like, it's just kind of fun to have another chance at a card that's like went into your graveyard and stuff like that.
I dig this. Do you know
as long as you have enough shuffle
decks?
effects, you can randomly get it.
Do you know how many decks this one's in?
Yeah. This one is in 29,421.
So you take the top.
What's that?
You take the top spot with how many decks it's in.
Yeah. All the other ones were pretty close, around 30,000.
Well, speaking of 30, Mr. World Medic, he suggested Glacial Chasm. That one I didn't pick. I did like that one, and I'll just pull that one up. But
it's 33,965. It was on mine.
I saw it too. I was like 33,000. Nope, that's on there. But just for those that don't know what it is, it has the Clumina upkeep, pay 2 life, and then when it enters, sacrifice a land. Creatures you control can attack and prevent all damage that would be dealt to you. So again, it's a very.
We should have just made a list of lands that can't get you mana. We could have done all right.
Okay, so there's a couple of them I wanted to mention. The first one is I think this is a legit one that could be used, especially against you effers that like Team Forest Walk.
Aggressive.
But it did get reprinted in the Lord of the Rings one, but it's Hammerheim. But it taps
Was
for
it all land walk abilities?
yep. Target creature loses all land walk abilities until end of turn. So it taps for a red, or you can tap it to make your hashtag get the fuck out of here, forest walk, swamp walk, mountain walk, plains walk, island walk. All
We
that goes
know
away.
all the walks. We know them.
Waste walk.
Hashtag Team Forest Walk.
Get the fuck out.
Get the fuck out!
Could you just go to Urborg?
Why Urborg?
Because there is a just Urborg version
What?
of the land.
What do you mean?
Yeah. It's from Legends, but it's just Urborg right there.
Wait.
Nope. Up.
This little guy?
Up.
Oh,
That one.
That's a weird looking one. Hang on.
Target creature
There we go.
loses first strike. No, I can't read it.
Target creature loses first
Or
strike or
Swamp Walk.
swamp walk. Yeah.
Why is it losing Swamp Walk and the other one just takes away all the walks?
It's so much
I
better.
guess the first strike is more relevant anyway.
Yeah, so much first strike out there.
You know what? You can get fucked by first strike every once in a while.
Double strike. Yeah, first strike. I
Maybe
didn't
double
see
strike.
that as
Yeah,
much.
well, I don't know.
The other thing I wanted to mention was the MH3 lands. I think are all
Yeah.
really good. They, it hasn't been out that long, but they're all over 12,000 EDH rec deck. So I was like, I want to pick them, but I was trying to, even though I have Lake of the Dead that's over that. And then the ones that I double chose was Soldevi Excavations.
Yeah.
I always like that
I
one.
kind of figured you like that one.
I like that one a lot, even though I don't ever use it because it's just, I don't know. But just so people don't know if they know, Soldevi, come on. It's DE.
Yeah, we'll do this.
Oh,
He can't even read.
Again? All right, I'll press it.
I
can't even read.
Stop it. There it is. So when it comes into play, sacrifice an untapped island or you bury it, and then it taps for a colorless and a blue. And then you can tap one and tap it. Look at the top card of your library. Basically, Scry. Yep, for that
Yeah.
ability. And then the other one was Winding Canyons, which we always. These are all reserve list, dude. Everything I fucking pick is reserve
You
list.
like them
but-
old reserve list
but
cards.
we like Winding Canyons. We've been talking about this card for years and years and years and years. Both of them, Winding Canyons. Where is it? I wrote it down. Is only in 9,540 decks, and Soldevi's only in 2,900 decks. So both of them very low. Winding Canyons, we've talked about before, but taps for colorless. Or you can tap two, tap it until end of turn. You may play creature cards as though they have their flash or instance or whatever, instant speed. So,
I got a couple. I'll just.
all right.
I think we're running out of them, so we're gonna have to be like, kind of used utility lands in like a year and a half. We can do that.
Semi.
You probably have heard of these ones.
Not really underused. They're semi
Properly used lands.
Why are we watching this? This is a proper. All right. So, do you have what are the couple that you want to throw?
No,
on?
I don't.
Oh, you go. Are you
like I
just
said,
joking?
properly used lands is the next one in a year and a half. We're doing that. I'm saving this list. Just kidding. I
that's funny.
throw away everything within 24 hours.
All right. Okay. So if there's some that you guys think, preferably if it's under 10,000 or under 15,000, we.
I think under 20 is an appropriate
Yeah, I think at this point we're.
number at this point.
I think with EDH Rec pulling from so many different places now, the number just it's harder to get under that 10,000 and all that. So, but we'd
Agreed.
like to hear that. If you guys could throw that in the comments, like Mr. World Medic that did there, that'd be great. Now we're gonna kind of jump over. Well, let's go over the tournament, not results, but we do have, since we're talking utility lands,
Middle of the race.
we have
Go and vote for your favorite. If you're not happy with who's winning, you go and put your vote in. And
Is it November already?
What?
Voting.
oh,
Get it?
I'm just saying, I don't want to hear about it.
Okay, so we have the Elite 8 up right now for voting. We went live on Friday due to stuff last week. Oh, that beer I just poured
Yeah,
really smells.
I'd smell it for you if you asked.
Are we doing finger stuff again? Okay, so
Ooh, that was a good one.
that was good. So this isn't the finals. We're not done voting, so you got to get out there and vote. But here is where the matchups are. We're going to go for another week, so get out there and vote. But our first match for Bajuka Bog is slightly losing to Strip Mine at this point, 57-43. So number 3 might go down to Strip Mine. Bajuka or Beseju is kind of taking down Field of the Dead with 64% of the votes.
That's pretty strong so far.
Yep. Look at this. Urza Saga.
Get the
Wow.
fuck out!
85% of the votes over Plaza of Heroes. I thought this one was going to be a lot closer. That one you guys probably don't even have to vote for because it's pretty much over at that point.
you can stop.
And Reliquary Tower is winning at 68% of the vote for over War Room. So that's a pretty hefty.
Okay.
So really our closest matchups is that Bajuka Bog and Strip Mine one. I mean, the other ones, I guess there's still some wiggle room there. I mean, there's still some room to vote because we've had over 200 voting and we haven't even broke 100 yet with these. So
so get out there, vote for my stuff. All you got to do is not vote for 2 of the only 2 out there are Adams.
Yeah.
Everything else is mine.
Yeah, no.
Pendlehaven?
Which one's Pendlehaven? I don't know that
If
one.
you're playing Infect, maybe.
What is that?
It's target creature gets plus, or a 1/1 gets +1/+2. PEN.
PEN?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Target 1/1 gets 1/+2. Yeah. I didn't like the ones that like give the 1/1 counters for creatures that come into play, or I just don't use those ever. I try to find, and this is specific to the 1/1 thing.
Is that saying it's a $5 card right now?
Yeah, the cheapest. But I mean, the last time it was printed was Masters 25, dude. I mean, that's 5 years ago at this point. So now you're just looking at a long period of time that this hasn't been printed. So that's probably why.
I'd be like 7 years ago.
Is
But
it?
I just
Well, I mean,
I don't know.
we did, weren't we doing the podcast when Masters 25 came out?
I think that was like the first set we covered.
So yeah, we're coming up on 7 years because we've been doing this for 6 years or something. I don't know. Bobby Fischer, where is he? I don't know.
We're at
I
6
don't
and a
know.
half right now.
Yeah. So, all right. Okay. So that is the tournament stuff. Get out there and vote for that stuff.
I'm worried. I'll admit I'm super worried. Like your 2 look really strong.
Yeah. I think Beseju might. I might have underestimated. I mean, it was my second overall pick.
Right.
Or yeah, it was my second overall pick, but it. Let me say this. Urza Saga, I can't believe that it has that much, 85% of the vote. Like, that's like, what? Because I play Plaza of Heroes a lot, too.
I'll trade you. Maybe it comes back. You can have Plaza, and I'll take Urza Saga.
You'd burn if you had Urza Saga. You can't,
You're right.
can't handle that.
You're right.
Oh, that's a sour. What am I drinking? Pink guava gose? What is that?
Goose?
Is that, goose? Hit the button.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is.
It's a different language.
She can't even read.
This is from SmithCon, so it's
Yeah,
whatever you
yeah.
brought.
So like when it smelled a little weird, it was a little yeasty, little pukey.
Yeah, it was like, ugh.
Yeah. Yeah, that's classic goose. The more pukey that you get, the better it is.
All right. All right. Do we want to do any tag stuff? I mean, really, you guys can go out there.
We just do it quick.
Do it quick. All right. So you guys can, the best way to support the Commander Smiths, there's a few ways to support the Commander Smiths. You guys can become a patron of the Commander Smiths. You get on the Discord. Let me get out of here just so we're looking at other stuff. So $5 or $1 gets you in the Discord. That's all you need. $1 gets you in the Discord where we do all our chatting and talking and everything, especially when we had last week where we were late getting the cast out. It's really good to stay on top of that because we update the Discord first and we're, they know what's going on. They know everything that's going on in our lives because that's basically our lives are on Discord. So if you want to get chatting with other people like yourself, jump on their dollar support. That supports us and gets you involved there. But you can get proxies if you want. $5 a month can get you proxies. You can get foil proxies like our prize that is coming up here. Sakashima of 1,000 Faces. So that's one of the proxies that I've designed, and that's a foil one. So depending on how you move on the tiers, you can get foil proxies or regular proxies each month. But all that goes, we're giving you guys bonuses, and also we're going to get back into the giveaways. So we're going to be opening up collector booster boxes with the next Duskmorn set here. And that's all for patrons there. So make sure you guys get in there so you guys can win some stuff. You can also support us by just watching us on YouTube. You can support by donating on the live stuff. We'll think of something with the Malort stuff here in a little bit. And then you're making us do some crappy stuff, but at the same point, it is supporting us. So our next big goal is we're trying to get the cameras going, and we want to go live, or not live. We want to get some games, in real life games, up and running instead of the spell table stuff. So that is our goal, is what we're trying to get to. So anything that you guys give helps. You guys can follow us on YouTube. You can follow us on TikTok. You can follow us on Instagram. Is that it? Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, and you guys can email us at commandersmiths@gmail.com. And I think we're ready to get into...
That sounds right, World.
What did World say?
Oh, he's thinking, he or she is thinking that Pendelhaven you can hold priority, untap the land and do it again, like if you have that ability.
Oh, gotcha.
So as a 1/1, because it only targets a 1/1, and so if you just stack them, I'm pretty sure that'll work.
So then it'd be a 3/4 or a 3/5.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of work to add +2/+4. So it's 3/5.
Yeah, that is a little tough. All right, it is time for our game. It is Stump the Smith time. Stump the Smith Savant, and you didn't get stumped last week because we didn't do it. And here we go. It's time for everyone's favorite game show, Stump the Smith Savant. All right, if you guys don't know how this game works, I'm going to read the flavor text of a card, and Larry's going to try to guess the card by asking yes or no questions. Every yes will hear this.
Hello, boobies.
Every no will hear this.
Wrong, 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 wrong.
He gets up to 5 wrong guesses before he is considered stumped. He gets up to 3 clues. If he can get everything about the card but can't get what the card name is, he will get the initials of the card. If he has a clue left over, he'll get a bonus clue, which should help give it away. Card has to be in at least 10,000 EDH rec decks. Anybody can enter. So right now, like I mentioned, we have Sakashima of 1,000 Faces, the foil proxy of it. And like I said, it's a magic card on the backside. We just do a little fun thing to make it a proxy if you have this card. If we get to the 3rd level, thanks to Tommy Olson, he has donated Ragavan, Nimble Pilfer. I also want to point out, who was the one that sent this? This was from... Who did I say we got a stump card? Fuck, who was it? The signature, I can't... Who did...
No, that's also from Tommy, I believe.
Was it from Tommy?
Yeah.
Is it Tommy again?
Yeah.
Tommy does a good job of sending his cards when he... Is it Tommy, though? I want to make sure I give the right shout out there. Give me a second. Because I would hate to give the shout out and then it wasn't Tommy. Even though, Tommy, you do a good job of... Cindy is cooking right now because we're doing like meal prep stuff. So she's cooking cheeseburger wraps and then we freeze them and stuff. It smells so fucking good. I'm like, okay, I just want to go eat right now. Can we just end this podcast? It smells
We
good.
can. Then I can not lose this week as well.
All right, hang on. Let me see. That was Tommy. Okay, just making sure that was Tommy. All right, I pulled up the list to make sure to see. All right, so Tommy signed it because he didn't stump Lowry and he sent it to us. So you guys can do the same and you make the wall that's right there behind Lowry and make my wall over here. I'll do a better job of revealing those someday. So, all right, again, the ways you guys can send it in. You don't have to be a patron, but if you are a patron, you just send me a message on Discord. If you aren't a patron, shoot us an email, commandersmiths@gmail.com. All right, I have eliminated the chat. Chat can play along. Let's see if we can get it before Lowry. And here we go. Greetings, fellow inventors, the Aki shouted, attempting a friendly smile. To her dismay, the greeting was met only with shrieks and alarms being activated. Greetings, fellow inventors, the Aki shouted. I don't know if that's how you say it. Attempting a friendly smile. To her dismay, the greeting was met with shrieks and alarms being activated. Oh, and we have a timer. Let me get that going. Boop, 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 boop,
Okay,
boop, 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 boop.
Inventors has a strong like Kaladesh feel to it, but I want to say Akai. That's how I say it in my head.
Akai,
Those
okay.
are goblins, but from Kamigawa. Oh, okay. So that puts it in the new Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. Question: is that Kamigawa Neon Dynasty?
Oh, and I have to give really quick. This is Deadpool Dragon is the Stumper. Let me give you this.
Hello, boobies.
Thank you.
Yep.
There we go.
And then also, Lowry, your record is 102 and 34. So this is round 34, week 2. Every 3 weeks, we add a card to the ante. So there we go.
You're just wasting my time.
Sorry.
At this point.
Oh, that is a good
We're in the
point.
middle of the game. All right, so we know it's Neon Dynasty. Greetings, fellow inventors. The Akai shouted, attempting a friendly smile. To her dismay, the greeting was met only with shrieks and alarms being activated. Okay, to her dismay. So a female goblin. Was that a character or a legend? Was that so inventing is generally like red blue, but it was a whole text set, so it's likely it can be any color, like maybe red, black, white. How about that? Or not white? Is it red and or black and or blue?
Hello, boobies.
All right. Well, I mean, it doesn't. Is it a permanent card?
Hello, boobies.
Can I get the first clue, please?
The art features a small, impish figure with sharp features piloting a unique flying device surrounded by mechanical parts. The art features a small, impish figure with sharp features piloting a unique flying device surrounded by mechanical parts.
Good. Okay, so that sounds like a vehicle. Vehicles were a thing there. The short, impish figure is likely the goblin. The problem ends up being the vehicle. If it's a vehicle, it'd be of one of those colors at least. And I'm kind of blanking on colored vehicles at the time. They had a lot of good vehicles, and the really good ones were colorless at this point. So like Bankbuster, the hearse. No, that was Capenna. But Bankbuster was really good. I don't think it was a vehicle. Greetings, fellow. And that could. Is it? We know that it's permanent. It's an artifact / vehicle set. Is it an artifact?
Hello, boobies.
Is it a vehicle?
Wrong, 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 wrong.
All right. Greetings, fellow inventors. Can I hear the first clue again, please?
The art features a small, impish figure with sharp features piloting a unique flying device surrounded by mechanical parts.
Okay, so we know it's an artifact. That doesn't mean that it's not a vehicle. Could still be a creature or an artifact, but more than likely just an artifact. Second clue, please.
The text features evasion and a spell reduction. The text features evasion and a spell reduction. I should say a certain spell reduction.
First clue, please.
The art features a small, impish figure with sharp features piloting a unique flying device surrounded by mechanical parts.
Is it a creature?
Hello, boobies.
Red, blue.
Hello, boobies.
Artifacts reduced by 1.
Hello, boobies.
Flying.
Hello, boobies.
Lots of boobies.
it
You motorboating son of a bitch.
It has flying.
Hello, boobies.
It has a promo version of the card. But it's all right. What is? I mean, is it a 2/2 or a 1/1 is the question. Is it power 2?
Hello, boobies.
Toughness 2?
Hello, boobies.
The initials are E.M. E.M.
Fuck.
You didn't get the last. You got it before the last clue, so I can give you more, but you got to give me a second because I didn't write anything.
Yeah, that's okay. All right, so it's, let me read through it. E.M.
Mm-hmm.
Red, blue. Flying reduces artifacts by 2. 2/2. Goblin. Neon Dynasty. Artifact creature. It's just like floating there.
I don't know how I'm gonna do like. Oh, I guess. Okay, the M is. I'm gonna just read verbatim of what this is. Is a character that appears in Sonic the Hedgehog comic series, and it. God, is that really gonna? Shit. It's in Sonic. Like, actually, I was like, how do I know this name? It's from Sonic the Hedgehog, which is. I don't know if that's going to help you at all, but it starts with an
That's
M.
all you give me? I felt like you stopped in the middle of it.
Well, because I can't keep reading it without giving it away. Okay. Is it okay? Wait. No, here we go. Okay. Is a character that appears in Sonic the Hedgehog comic series and spin-offs published by blah blah. It was a mass-produced model of labor robots from whatever planet, but it's a mass-produced model of labor robots. That's what the M is, okay? And then the E is somebody that's very animated about something, very excited about something that starts with an E. So something that E is very excited about something. I almost said the word. Very colorful about something. The M is a character that appears in Sonic the Hedgehog that is mass-produced model of labor robots. So labor robots and robots really is what kind of gives it away for Sonic.
Does it?
I mean, kind of. I mean, you know Sonic, right?
All right. Things have slowed down. Yeah. I'm going to blow my nose again. But go silent.
That was weird. My audio completely weird. My audio. You can hear me, right? Lowry?
Yeah.
You can hear, okay. Because all of a sudden it clicked and everything went silent, and then something popped up on the screen saying they switched my mics to something else. So I hope that my sound is all right.
That'd be weird. Yeah, nothing changed from
Okay.
when maybe it was just upset about mine. I just muted my mic. So nobody could hear the snot rags I was creating. Let's see here. All right. Lots of excitement.
Bill from
Energy.
Woodbury, all of those E's are not right.
It's hard. Like mechanization. Like that's like energized mech, but I don't think that's it at all. That's the problem. Is that's
Being
where
very excited about something and very colorful about, not colorful. What did I say? Did I say colorful? I don't know. I don't want to give
The
it. Starts
name
with
of
an
one
E.
of my kids' teddy bears. It's colorful.
Is it?
Yeah, it's browno and colorful.
So very enthusiastic about something. Very. Man, I'm gonna give it away.
10 minutes.
I feel like
I have one wrong so far.
yeah. Oh, I have to say something.
There's a problem. I like this card. I think I have it in Laura Croft deck. That would make sense.
Very excited about something, and that's not the word.
Yeah. Oh, I think this is gonna be tough. The words are. I should focus on the second word, I think.
All right, so that, like I said, it appears in Sonic the Hedgehog, mass-produced model of labor robots.
They should mass produce the sex robots too.
I don't think it's used anywhere else.
Just kidding. Just kidding. What?
Yeah. Oh, it says the definition of this is like labor robots.
It's like in my mind, it's a goblin in like a mech suit, and so like that's the problem that I'm gonna be having here. But it doesn't really. That's gonna be rough if I lose on this one.
Yeah. World Medic said, seems like a lot of time. Well, normally Lar doesn't figure it out this early. I mean, you do.
Yeah.
But like get it all and then now just have a blank in for the next.
I think if I'm not even close, I'm just gonna call it with 5 minutes left. So it's like mech, or that's the word that's in my head, and it's not accurate. Does the first word have anything to do, like any version of like energy, energized, anything in that realm?
Wrong, 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 wrong.
Okay.
Being very animated about something. That's what the word I was like, what did I use in the first time I gave the example? Like, very animated about something, a topic or whatever. What is another word that begins with E that you would say somebody's animated about something? It'd be like me talking about weather. You know,
you need
when
to
I
calm
was,
down.
It was very, it's like, oh my gosh, tornadoes and, you know, severe weather, snowstorms. I'm not like,
So I got it. So the thing is, like, Adam's really what?
you know, there's some
Excited?
tornadoes and that's an E word.
Of course it is. Excited.
Wrong,
I didn't mean for you to
wrong,
guess it, but
wrong.
I mean, I technically only have 1 minute left on my own. I mean, it's 6 minutes, but
okay, so there's a
I got
better
3
way of
wrong.
what I said with the second word. World Medic said Dr. Robotnik's cronies is what the second word is. I wasn't sure, but they didn't say that in the definition. It just said they're labor robots.
yeah, I kind of figured it was them, but I can't think of what they
Are called.
Yeah. Metroid Prime. Again, not a mech. I have 3 wrong so far.
Yep.
We have. What would that be? Why? I'd like to get a guess in on the second word. What would that be?
Dr. Robotnik's cronies. I like that better than what I was trying to say.
Well, let's just say that I've only had this this hint for about 30 seconds at this point. Then I don't feel so bad.
Well, I had labor robots, which is the same thing, pretty much.
That sounds so weird.
Slave robots.
Oh wow. I got nothing. We're good.
Are you tapping out? You're tapping out?
I'm tapping out.
Oh.
Wrong.
Congratulations,
wrong.
Deadpool Dragon. All right. I'll give you part of the word.
All right.
Mechanaut. They're called the Mechanauts, is what they're.
I don't know if I was not going to get there.
All right. So the E word is enthusiastic. Enthusiastic Mechanaut. I'll show you. Here we go.
That would have been tough.
There it is. It's the guy you were thinking.
Yeah. Yep.
Just couldn't
No, it
remember
was
the name.
everything that I was thinking.
I know what the card is. I just don't know
was
the
not
name.
getting to that name.
So
boy,
congratulations, Mr. Deadpool Dragon. You win the Sakashima of 1,000 Faces.
Oh boy. Rough.
Yeah, that was a tough one. That one's in
Good one for sure.
40,000 EDH rec decks.
How many?
40,000.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Only printed in the Kamigawa Neon Dynasty and most seen in Joria Weatherlight Captain. So, congratulations there, buddy. That was a good one.
Yeah.
You got the
that's
you got the whole Lowry. I know what it is. I just don't know the name. So that it's
right.
perfect.
I think if people go for just like confusing words, they could get me at this point.
Yeah, what was that one where what was Raga
Draga.
Raga not gonna work?
No, it
here
wasn't
anymore?
Raga Draga. It was Rugathroth of Rugathroth.
that was I was like, I don't know if you said it right.
Yeah, that was a funny one.
All right, so it's gonna start over. So again, we still got Ragavan that's on the books. We gotta get to level 3, but please send your entries in to commandersmiths@gmail.com. Remember, it has to be in at least 10,000 EDH rec decks. If you're a part of the Discord, shoot me a direct message, and I'll get you entered. Oh, speaking of, let's do a drawing for the next one for next week's episode. And next week we will have. There we go. Feel good there. Oh, it's RoboCop. RoboCop is going to be
There we
the
go.
stumper for next week. Congratulations, RoboCop. We'll figure out what proxy will be on the line next week. Foil proxy, so keep that in mind. All right, gang, that should do it for this week. Thank you for joining. We will... Wait, is that what you say? That should do it for this week. We'll catch you next week. There we go.
I don't know. Thanks for listening.
See ya.
Bye.
I can't.
That's all I know what to say.
I can't add stuff in because then I forget the rhythm.
Right.
of
What are you
something.
For hunkers.
different
I
words?
love boobs. Thanks
Rubble.
for the memories. I love boobs.
Hey gang, the best way to support the Commander Smiths is make sure you slap that like button, and if you haven't done so already, subscribe to our channel. Also, check out our online store, commandersmiths.com, where we have metal tokens, mugs,